Welcome to another episode of Yearbook Avenue 101. Today's episode is how to flow your mugshots onto your pages. In our last video, we discussed how to prep your mugshots before you flow them onto your pages. Please make sure that you have watched that video and followed all the directions. Once you know that your mugshots are ready to be flowed, here's what to do. First, go to the Create menu and choose Panel Pages. This screen will open up. Do this in the following order. At the top of the Builder section on the left, choose the image category we will be working with. We are choosing the Freshman, that's grade 09, as our example. Then click in the Start on Page field and type in the page number of the first page where you want this section to go. In our case, we want the Freshman to start on page 54. Next, looking back at the Builder section on the left, we can choose to place the photos in one of two ways. We can either make them a standard size, in which case they will flow for as many pages as they need to get all the pictures onto the pages. Or you can choose Pages. If we do this, choose Pages, we will tell YTO how many pages we have for that class, in our case, grade 9, and YTO will make the portraits the size it needs to fill those pages. It's your call. Just below the sizing inputs, you can choose what kind of corners to put on the portraits. 99% of schools in the world choose square corners. This does not mean you will have square portrait photos. They will be rectangles. This is how the corners will look. We suggest you stick with square corners, except possibly in the case of seniors, where you may want to round the corners or print in ovals, depending on your design. Next to the portrait shape box, you can determine border width. This is important if you chose rounded corners or ovals. If you chose squares, you can leave it at none. If you chose rounded corners or ovals, you'll have to decide how thick the lines around those will be. Next, choose the format for your names. Do you want them first, then last, or last, then first? You can even format with middle names if you need to. The most common in yearbooks is first, then last. Next, pick the name location. Do you want them on the sides? This is recommended for underclass, or directly below each photo, sometimes done for senior sections or 8th grade sections in junior high books. Choosing the font and size is pretty self-explanatory, and they're your next choices. But if you make the font too big, be aware it could throw things off in your design by putting long names on 2 lines. Now comes a big decision. How far apart will your mugshots be? In most schools, underclass portraits are done with only 2 points between them and the names on the side. If you choose to put the names below the portraits, you will need room for that. Sometimes you may want to give more room between photos for your seniors or your 8th graders in a junior high book. Lastly, you can choose the margins of the page. What this will do is leave you room to add quick reads, features, infographics, or other content to make the page more readable. You can do this separately for each page by leaving additional room at the top or bottom of the pages. No matter what you choose to do with these 4 boxes, you can always move things around in the page designer later. Once you have all your choices made, click Preview. Make sure to scroll through the pages in the upper box to make sure that nothing is on the pages you're going to flow onto. For instance, after I click Preview, I found that we have so many students in grade 9 that if I use a 6x8 portrait with 24 picas of space on the top of every left-handed page for content, it will take all the way from page 54 to page 71 to place all the mugs. When I scroll across, I can see that I have content on page 66, so that means I only have 12 pages to work with. One of the great things about the Panel Pages Builder is that after I preview it, I can make changes and try again. So this time I changed it to 12 pages instead of portrait sizes, and I reduced the amount of space I was leaving for content at the top of each spread from 24 to 12 picas. And then I just hit Preview again. If you like what you see, just click Save. It's right next to Preview, and the portraits are flowed into those pages. Names and all, exactly as specified. You can then go to those pages and see how you like them. And here's the absolute best part. If you don't like them, you can come back and reflow them again until you get exactly what you want. You should note that it is smart to reflow the portraits until you have exactly what you want before you add any other content, like features or quick reads, to those pages. And that's all there is to it.